do?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vicki Garner. I'm the Director of College Counseling, and welcome. Thank you so much for coming on a Wednesday evening for the busy week. And tonight we are presenting a program that's designed for families in 9th and 10th grades. I'm so happy to see students here as well as parents. Because in addition to going through a timeline and talking about things like transcripts and testing, we are also very fortunate to have 7 seniors with us, members of the class of 2017, who just went through their senior year college process and are a couple weeks away in some cases of committing to their college. Tonight, it's a chance to get some good information, take some notes, ask questions, and it's by no means exhaustive of the whole process. We couldn't do that, although we could be here for 3 or 4 days if we tried. We're really just trying to touch on the things that we feel are important for you to know now. And so to get us started, I'm going to introduce Dr. Joel Sapiersky, the Associate Director of College Counseling.
Good evening. Okay, so I want to start with the 9th grade and talk about, from the perspective of the college process and the college office, what's important to keep in mind and what's about the 9th grade and what students and families can be doing. First, there is an understanding that in the freshman year is a period of adjustment. That no matter what your background or where you're coming from, that the 9th grade in Nichols Upper School is going to be challenging. It's going to ask new things of you, of the student, and that this takes some time to get used to. And there's kind of a list of things, certainly not exhaustive, that would be included there. Not the least of which is just the amount of work you're going to be doing for your classes. What's important to know, there's a couple different things that I think that freshmen should keep in mind, and not too many things. And clearly, and by far the most important, is simply finding your footing academically and doing well in school. Colleges do see freshman grades on the transcript, but they also then see the freshman grades in relation to future grades. And so one of the things colleges are really looking at, in addition to simply what grades you have, is how then a student does over time. So upward trends, there's a little bit of forgiveness then for freshman year, so you do have some room to find yourself a bit. Nonetheless, those final grades are on the transcript. I think as important, if not more, is to look around and see what opportunities are interesting to you and to get involved in things that will then shape your process and shape who you are, and say, tell the colleges who you are moving forward outside of the classroom as well. One of the things that students often don't think about until very late in their high school career is to save their work, or at least their best work. It is increasingly part of the process, and it certainly does depend on the school, depends on the student, but that at least as an optional piece of material, that a graded paper, a project, these things can be highlighted or even an official part in some colleges' cases of the application process. And so keeping work that you're proud of, that you worked hard on, that really reflect who you are and what you're interested in, is something that you should be doing along the way. Not every single one-page paper you write, but at the same time, or that your student writes, but at the same time, keeping that best work and the work that you're most proud of, I think is really, really important. In other words, building a portfolio of work that reflects who you are and what you're interested in as it emerges over time. We do have a lot of information on our own website. This website is not just a repository of static information, but also a place where things are updated, where information that we are putting out to the community is posted. So for example, in the fall, some people mentioned as we go through here, we have many representatives from colleges coming in, and that schedule is posted. We also have other ways to communicate with families and teachers, but it's all there. The College Counseling website is under academics on the Nichols website. It's on the pull-down menu for academics. And then there's lots and lots of information there. And I would encourage you to bookmark that and take a look at that to become familiar with what we have to offer. There are a couple of websites and opportunities that we want to highlight at this point. The first new and going to be phasing over the next few years is the Excelsior Scholarship. You may have seen this in the news. This is the free tuition opportunity that has just been kind of officially been enacted. If you could just scroll down there, Miles. I'm not going to walk through all of the details of this and where the lines are drawn, but we would encourage you to sign up for this so that when the time comes that you're kind of in their system and it's understood and you're getting all the communication about that as well. So that's going to be a kind of major New York State opportunity for some families to go through. Okay, let's go back. The other link I have here is to the online platform that we use called Naviance Family Connection. This is something this is the login, but all students and families at some point are going to be introduced to and then certainly used through our process. It serves a couple of different purposes. It is a database of material about colleges, including materials on past Nichols applications to colleges. So it's not just generic information about acceptance rates or that kind of thing, but also how Nichols applicants to a certain school have done over time. So you're not just comparing yourself to a national pool, but also to specific students here at colleges. It is also used by us to collect information and then communicate with colleges later as well. In the next few days, you'll be receiving communication from us about how to register for this website. So keep an eye out for that. If you do not receive that, please contact us and we can help you set that up very quickly. Okay, so just look for an email from the college office about that.
Good. How many families here represent or are in the sophomore year? Okay, so lots of freshman families, great. Please come in. There are places kind of scattered around, and actually if any students want to get down and dirty and comfortable, they could sit on this wonderful carpeted bench right here and give up a seat for an adult. I want everyone to, or the adults can just stretch out. Don't fall asleep on it. So, Dr. Spearsky mentioned Naviance. How many sophomores here are registered on Naviance? Raise your hand. Anybody? Okay. Oh, one student. Oh, a couple. Okay, great. The Naviance system is, in fact, a web-based program that allows parents and students to search colleges and programs. And every student is registered through the school. And we work with students in small groups to make sure they know what they're looking at. At first glance, it can be overwhelming. So when you get the link to Naviance, it will include information about your specific passcode. And I would encourage parents, both freshmen and sophomore parents, to create an account, to go in, and to start familiarizing yourself with it. It becomes a very important part of our process in terms of communication, and it in fact is the way we forward information to colleges eventually when students are applying. So it is something to become familiar with. And along with anything that we mentioned tonight, if you come away with more questions, please reach out to us and let us know. Even though we're busy with the seniors trying to tuck them away and make sure everything is going well and meeting with juniors quite a bit during the spring, now is a good time to sit down and spend time together. So, as you approach the end of your freshman year, and you're getting ready to take exams for the first time, and you're thinking about, this is going to be part of my permanent record, it's important to keep in mind, again, what Dr. Spearsky alluded to. Colleges look at trends. They do expect students to perform to the best of their ability. And at the end of the freshman year of high school, it's actually a pretty good time with yourself first, and perhaps with your close advisor or teachers, to think about the things that you do really well. The things that almost give you energy and encourage you to do more work. And then to look with a very thoughtful eye to the areas where maybe you could ramp it up a little bit. either spending a little bit more time on homework or creating a layer of organization that is going to help you get everything in on time. And so for those sophomores in the room, that's particularly true, because as you conclude this year and you begin the junior year is, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but it is in fact the year that is closest to the student that colleges are going to get. It's a complete year. And so when you're considering what you do well, what gives you energy, there is a resource, again, on the College Counseling website that is our total curriculum guide. Has anybody in the room looked at the curriculum guide? Okay, a few hands. There's a big tab right on the front page of the college website, and if you click on it, it downloads an entire PDF of every course that is offered at Nichols School. And I would encourage parents to spend some time, again, so you can have meaningful conversations with your kids about, you know, there's something like 18 different math courses that we offer. What are your goals? What are the languages that are offered? You may know this in kind of vague terms, but to go in and really dig into that curriculum guide, I think is very helpful. In addition, colleges look at your engagement. Now, beyond all the sports, all the arts activities that so many of you, I think, are already doing, there are over 25 different clubs and organizations, and I hope that as you hear from our seniors later on, they will talk a little bit about what are the activities that really meant something to them. And the transition from freshman to sophomore year, and certainly the transition from sophomore to junior year, is that time to engage and to commit yourself to activities. It's more depth and meaning in one or two things than to be doing 10 different things. And that's a good rule of thumb to follow. Now, in terms of testing, all sophomores and juniors are automatically registered to take the PSAT, or the pre-SAT, here at school in October. And that gives you a chance to try your hand at an assessment that will become a part of a planning process for you. You know, college standardized testing is something that we spend a lot of time on in terms of families and students individually. And yet, there are some options that have opened up, particularly in the last few years. And we want to make sure that we're designing a plan that's going to work best for you. So the PSAT is one of those first opportunities to get an idea of where you fit. I think that's it. Why don't you jump on to the next slide?
So you're going to look at this slide and say, we're taking your summers from you too. Yes and no. Okay. Summers do matter, as the title says here. That said, I want to emphasize that for freshmen and sophomores and for your parents, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have fun, go away, do your thing, you know, relax some, get away from school to a certain degree. I mean, what summers should be used for, especially early in high school, is pursuing interests. Those things that really actually matter, excite you, things you want to pursue. And I think that really, you can turn just about anything that you seriously pursue, or that a student seriously pursues, into something that matters in the college application. Tanning is not one of them. But I mean, it's true whether it's sports, service, research, you know, more academics, or it can be move away from academics. And there's a list of things here that this could be. But really, as Ms. Garner mentioned, it is about depth. It is about pursuit over time. It's about investment in what they're looking for. So really, what colleges are looking for is a baseline in both your extracurricular activities generally and what you're doing with your summers, is that the student that they are looking to accept is somebody who's active, who's engaged, who will then come onto their campuses and take advantage of the resources that they have there. You know, they don't want students who are going to show up for 4 years and sit in their dorm room and play video games for 8 hours a day. I mean, they want students who are going to be out on their campus, going to be leaders, are going to be engaged. And that's true in the laboratory, on the sport field, in clubs, and you name it. They want kids to come out and take advantage of all the different things that they've offered. And so they are looking at that set of activities, summer included, that contribute to that or indicate that to them. Otherwise, I think summers are a useful time to, you know, if you're on vacation someplace in the local college, take a few hours, go and see it. I don't think it's really ever too early to at least get a sense of what college is about. It doesn't necessarily need to be a college that you are targeting, because who knows? I mean, you might not have any idea what you're targeting. Probably shouldn't as a freshman or sophomore, or especially freshman. But understanding what a college is and what college isn't, I think, is really important. When I talk to students in meetings, yeah, I'm looking at what they want in a college, a variety of things, and I'm also interested when they start visiting what they don't want and what they don't like. And so, you know, if there's a college nearby and you can spend a few hours looking at that, I think that would be a great idea. And as a parent, especially if a student comes away saying, that's horrible, you're wasting my time, I hate it, that's actually, I don't want that. But we don't visit anymore like that, and you go and find that. And so I think that summers should be used, and there should be at least a portion of the summer which is part of this process. Okay?
Good. How many students here are playing a sport, at least one or more sports this year? I think all of you are playing something, or even PE. I mean, engaging in physical activity is obviously something that's a part of our program. And in any given year, approximately 25% of our students do go on to play one or more sports in college. And this eligibility center, oh, can you advance, Miles? All right. I'm not paying enough to do this. The Eligibility Center is in fact NCAA, what used to be known as the NCAA Clearinghouse. And it is a great resource to start to get an idea of what's involved. And we also sponsor an NCAA night. We're going to move that to the fall because the springtime has gotten too jam-packed. But in addition to understanding what the rules and regulations are, for students who are truly interested in playing either Division I, II, or III of any sport, this is a way to begin to understand the process. Certainly talking with your coaches, and if you are, as you go into junior year, that is oftentimes a key time to sit down and have a real heart-to-heart about where they might see you in a year or two, and certainly understanding what the connections are for potential coaches, potential programs, and for all of our student athletes, it's the balance that is so important between academic program as well as their athletic endeavor. And making sure that that is truly a fit is important. When I mentioned that about, we graduate 95 to 100 students a year, and maybe 7 or 8 of those are actually playing at the Division I level. And then the vast majority are playing at the Division III level. And we have some athletes in our senior group, and they will probably talk a little bit about what they're looking forward to in that regard. Now, in addition to this, every college website has a prospective student athlete questionnaire. And so if you just came from softball, I'm guessing, you want to play softball, you want to learn more about University of Rochester, go to their website. Oh, did I pick the right school? Yeah. Okay. We actually have a softball player at the University of Rochester now. Every coach will read these prospective athletic questionnaires, and again, it's a way to reach out, a way to connect, a way to learn more about what their team looks like, how many seniors they have, what positions are opening up. And it doesn't commit you to any program. It just gives them a little bit of an insight into what you're looking for. And once a conversation starts to happen, and this usually is in the junior, senior, summer before junior or senior year, coaches will ask to see your transcript to make sure that you're academically eligible to play a sport at their school. And oftentimes, there's a liaison with the admissions office to learn more about whether or not this is a good fit. Okay? Next slide, please. Right along into junior year.
Yep. With junior year, our slides and the process is a little bit more specific. But I do want to say one thing about college, the Division III, the filling out the questionnaires, it really does matter. Most Division III coaches, they recruit, but they don't have this nationwide scouring for talent. And if they find a student who is admissible to their school, who fits their needs, that they didn't know about, they're eager to have that. I was a Division III athlete, and I actually went to a school that didn't have a coach when I applied. But it was a school that fit my needs, and I found, and I had an okay basketball career when I got there, and it helped in a variety of ways moving through. So, back to the junior year. Sophomores, you've already actually registered for classes, right? So you've already had part of this Rising Junior experience. But I think even as we head into the fall, it's important to, as you enter your classes, to make sure you feel like you're in the right class, the right level. There's a couple of choices you may have already made. But I think that proper course selection can mean a lot. A course you're going to get a lot out of and challenge you, but also a course you're going to have success in. So that's a process that's already kind of underway and will continue into the fall for juniors. As was mentioned earlier, the junior year is the last year where a full year grade will appear on your transcript for college, and therefore doing well throughout this year is really paramount academically. I mean, it's really an inescapable truth of, I think, the college process, where this is a year where you really need to step on it and do your best from beginning to end. It is the year that is most closely examined in many ways for attainment and ability. We also, getting to testing, we offer a variety of, or a series of tutoring sessions for both the SAT and ACT throughout the year. We offer 4 each semester. And these, we don't put these up all in a row at the beginning of the year. We put them up as they become available, but they are going to be there. And these are already kind of scheduled for us. They are timed to prepare students for the specific testing dates as we move through the year. So they're not just kind of random or kind of in a series, but rather they're specifically geared to prepare a student over a series of weeks before a specific test date. So as your testing plan becomes obvious or more clear, and you know what test date you're going to first take a certain test on, then you should kind of look and see a few months even ahead of time about what is available. The registration dates for testing usually are about a month or month and a half before, and so that is something you can't decide at the last minute that I'm taking this test. That's not how the college testing works. So it is something you're going to have to be ahead of, and that's something we talk to all of our students who are involved in convention. So we do offer test prep classes here with Brian Eldridge, an excellent tutor, who's been working with us for a number of years and has a lot of experience doing this and success. In October, juniors, like sophomores, will take the PSATs again. This is still practice. It is still a test that colleges do not see. However, it is closer to when you're actually taking the real SAT or ACT, and therefore it's more maybe a truer, closer approximation. Those 2 tests in the sophomore and junior year combined give us a much firmer idea of what we can expect moving forward or where we need to work in particular areas. For high achieving students, there is also a scholarship program attached to this. So the junior PSAT does, I'd say both the tests really matter for us, but there's reason to take it seriously and get as good a score as you can on this. We also have a series of programming throughout the fall. I think most notably we have a financial aid night, Finance Your College Education Night in October. Obviously next year we're going to be looking in part at that Excelsior Scholarship and get more information at that point on that. So I'd encourage you, whatever your need or perceived need, the college is expensive. And I think that getting information about that is going to be important for really everything.
So once you've had a couple of months to get your feet firmly planted in the junior year, we begin individual meetings with students and families. And we have a kickoff. It is right before Thanksgiving. It is the junior college night. And this is often a series of deans of admission who come and speak about the state of admission, not only at their unique school, but in general terms as well, and provide guidance and suggestions to families who are in the process. The very next day, the entire junior class actually travels to a college for a tour. And